Breaking news! The Calgary Flames and Philadelphia Flyers have just made a blockbuster trade involving Andrei Kuzmenko and Morgan Frost. Both Jakob Pelletier and Joel Farabee are involved as well, which if true means that the Flames have absolutely robbed the Flyers. It looks as though General Manager Craig Conroy has finally found what he's been looking for, and hockey fans everywhere are talking about it. This is truly massive. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and oh baby, we have a trade. This is super exciting. After all the trade rumors involving Andrei Kuzmenko, we can finally say we have a trade. Now, the official statement has not been released, but we know there are 4 confirmed parts in this trade. And if we get into how it all began, well, of course, it has to begin with Elliotte Friedman. That's how you know it's the real deal. So he said Philadelphia and Calgary are discussing an Andrei Kuzmenko deal. Kuzmenko held out of the Flames lineup tonight. And at the time of recording, it's the second intermission of the Flames game right now. Kuzmenko was yanked before this game started, and Jakob Pelletier was yanked during this game, so it looks as though he is definitely part of this as well. But what we know right now is this. So far we're being told to Philadelphia, Andrei Kuzmenko and Jakob Pelletier, to Calgary, Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. The trade isn't finalized. This is all we know so far. This is bonkers. This is wild. This is insane. This is crazy. Use any word you want. This is nuts. And while this isn't the end of the trade, I'm sorry. So far, the Flames have robbed the Flyers. Andrei Kuzmenko, a guy who a couple weeks ago wasn't even worth trading at all. He wasn't going to go for anything. Finally has picked up his game a bit. Jakob Pelletier, it really sucks to lose him. It honestly really does. But for what we get back, you obviously have to give a little bit to get a little bit. Losing Pelletier again, such a good guy for the locker room. You can tell he really loved being here, loved his teammates loved him, and it really does suck to lose him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But what we got back, Morgan Frost already is just fantastic, but adding Joel Farabee as well. As soon as I heard that Kuzmenko and Pelletier were involved, I thought, oh my God, is our forward core going to look like now? Well, having Farabee and Frost back, I genuinely think this makes the Flames a better team. Just imagine that with a healthy lineup once we get Zary back as well. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely nuts. It's so funny to think as well that this trade really does make sense and doesn't make sense in terms for Kuzmenko to Philly. It makes sense because he used to play with Matvei Michkov back in the KHL. So they're buddies. And that totally makes sense. But keep in mind, Philly's coach is John Tortorella. He is notorious for benching his players. Think of what he did back with Laine and stuff. You think Kuzmenko's going to get tons of opportunities here? It'll be very interesting. He's going to need to produce with Michkov. But hey, it looks like it could work out for sure. Now, if we get into what we care about as Flames fans, the return, Morgan Frost is the key part of this. So Morgan Frost makes a lot of sense if he's the guy the Flames are after, which it definitely, he's been confirmed part of the trade. So he's 25 years old. He's a center who wins over 50% of his draws this season at 51.6%. There are only 3 Flames with more points than Frost this season: Huberdeau, Kadri, and Coleman. If it means setting a draft pick along with Kuzmenko, would you do it? Well, now we know, since this has been tweeted out, that Pelletier is obviously part of this trade. So those 4 pieces we saw, all roster players are part of this. Though there will be more involved. You would assume there's maybe some salary retention on Kuzmenko. There might not be. There could be picks involved. There could be other prospects. Heck, there could even be more roster players. But Morgan Frost is what Conroy has been after, and he has finally gotten it, which is great. It's a little bit older than maybe a lot of us were expecting, but hey, who knows? Maybe the perfect opportunity finally arose, and my assumption is that Conroy has been looking at the Flyers for quite a while now. It's just finally Kuzmenko is valuable enough now that his production has really escalated in January, that he's finally been able to package him as part of this deal. But how did we get here? So in certain ways, Frank Saravalli might have been the one to break this. It could have been Friedman. It could have been others. But so there's still some moving parts to this deal involving players active in games that haven't ended yet. Of course, the Flames game is currently going on. Darren Dreger went on to say Frank is on it. Also sounds like there is more involved than just player for player between Calgary and Philly. More involved is how one source describes it. So we kind of are already assuming there's more than just the 2-for-2 players now. But again, that's just from one source. It'll be very interesting to know once the trade is finalized. Here was how we knew that these two players came in. Well, there you go. The double F-bomb. 2 Friedman tweets in a row there. So he said Jakob Pelletier is part of the deal too. And then he said Joel Farabee is going to Calgary. And he would not be saying this just for a click. This is really happening. These guys are confirmed parts of these trades, which is just absolutely ludicrous in a way. So Morgan Frost, this is interesting though, very interesting. Morgan Frost may have tweaked something or was dealing with an illness which contributed to his absence tonight, but is a confirmed part of a trade to Calgary. So this adds a little element to this. As Flames fans, are we a little bit concerned? Is Frost injured? Is he ill? Is he going to be able to play for us? Are we acquiring an injured player? What the heck is going on here? I don't know, but he is confirmed as part of the package to Calgary, I guess we can say. I mean, he really is the main piece coming to Cowtown. It's just nuts that it almost seemed like as soon as the Flames trade for him, he got injured. But you'd be pulled out of the game anyway. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. That's very, very interesting. Here is another interesting factor. So Kuzmenko, by the way, waived his no trade clause to go to Philadelphia. So Kuzmenko gave the okay in order to go to Philly. Maybe that's also what the Flames have been waiting for in some of these trades. What Conroy has been looking at, was Kuzmenko going to waive his no trade clause to go to certain places? I think after what happened with Jacob Markstrom last year, the Conroy wasn't going to go up to a player unless the trade was confirmed. We all know that nonsense that happened with New Jersey and Markstrom at last year's trade deadline, and then he got traded there anyway. Markstrom said he'd waive his no-trade clause, and then they didn't trade him, but then they did a few months later. It was weird overall, but Kuzmenko, I think, will be happy to reunite with his old comrade in Matvey. It should be, honestly, very exciting to watch them, but, I mean, we just care about what it means for the Flames, of course. Another interesting anecdote, there's just so many interesting levels to this trade, is that coincidentally, tomorrow is the anniversary of the trade that brought Kuzmenko to Calgary. Of course, all remember that trade, huge trade for the Flames, giving Lindholm to Vancouver, acquiring Kuzmenko, acquiring a first-round pick, acquiring Hunter Brustevich, acquiring Yoni Yermo. It was a great trade, and now you can trace the trade tree even further and saying that we traded away Lindholm, and technically we got back Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee as well, which is just, again, absolutely crazy. The Flames robbed the Flyers. The Flames robbed the Canucks. It just seems like any trade involving Kuzmenko has been an absolute win for Calgary. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll have to see what the final trade ends up being. Hopefully, there's nothing too big going otherwise from Calgary, obviously, but it's just absolutely nuts. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys was this that was posted in the Flames Digest chat. Live Mark Griffith reaction. That came from the host of Habs Digest. That's Josh Goss. He made that. That is such a great screen grab of me. Feel free to use that in any way you want. But either way, I thought that was quite hilarious. Wanted to share it with you. But please, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this trade? Are you excited to see what the rest is? And do you think the Flames won this trade? That is what is most important. I think most Flames fans will say exactly what the title of this video says. The Flames robbed the Flyers. But again, we'll just have to wait and see and expect a lot of videos covering this in the near future. Now let's wrap this up with the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel. It actually comes from the video earlier today, so I guess we get 2 comments of the day today. This was a good one here from Robin. Robin said, Bishop, man, that guy was everywhere on Tuesday night, worked his ass off. Would love to see that hard work pay off with points. Get your popcorn. It's true. He was all over the ice when he was on it on Tuesday, and hopefully we can see more of that upcoming. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.